I've got the best taco meat recipe for you today. It's simple and easy with only 4 ingredients. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and you're gonna love today's recipe. It is perfect for any weeknight, but it tastes so good that it's amazing when you have company, guys. And the best part is it takes like 20 minutes to make. You're gonna love it. You can get the full recipe linked in the description below. Let's make some tacos. First, we're going to start with our cast iron pan, and I have put about a tablespoon of oil in there. You can also use a non-stick spray. I have my cast iron linked below. We're going to turn it on high heat, and we're going to add about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Since I'm doing lean ground beef, that's why I added that oil into the pan. I am using this meat chopper to separate the meat. I highly recommend you invest in it. It's like $10 to $20. It's very inexpensive on Amazon. I have it linked below for you, but I love it because it gives you that perfect crumble for taco meat that you would get in a restaurant. Allow the taco meat to set for just a few minutes so it begins to brown, and then come back in with that meat chopper to separate it even more. Be a little patient and allow that meat to sit before you continue stirring it, so that way it begins to brown. Once it's browned, go ahead and drain off any excess grease or water that you may have. And now it's time to add in our seasonings. Today I'm going to throw in about 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. However, you can also do a packet of taco seasoning. We recommend 1 to 2 tablespoons of homemade taco seasoning per ground of beef, but you decide on your flavoring. Next, we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of a red salsa and a 1/4 cup of water. Now, this is what makes this taco meat taste delicious, juicy, and you don't have dried out tacos. Grab your favorite wooden spoon and stir to combine. We're going to reduce the heat and allow it to simmer, heat uncovered for 3 to 5 minutes to allow all the flavors to combine. If it starts to dry out, you can go ahead and add in another 1/4 cup of water and allow it to heat through. If you find that your taco meat is too liquidy, just go ahead and crank the heat back up on high to evaporate the excess juice, and you will have the perfect taco meat. Once you've made this, you will never buy the store-bought stuff again. You can't have tacos without taco toppings, so now it's time to assemble all of the toppings to make the best tacos. Now today I'm using iceberg lettuce, and how I chop it up is first you cut it in half, and then you're going to slice it lengthwise. You want it really thin, so that way it's really good for your tacos. Continue slicing all the way through. Once that's finished, we're going to take that whole chopped section and we're going to turn it so that way we can run our knife through the other way to make little tiny pieces of lettuce. And that's how I like to chop my lettuce for actual tacos. Some people like them thicker, but I like them thinner like you would find at a restaurant. So we're going to put this in a bowl and assemble it to the side and then start working on our next topping. I'm going to do red onions for the next one, but any kind of onions will work. Again, you can do any kind of toppings you want. This is just what I'm doing. Now, I do actually have a whole video on how to chop an onion perfectly, and I'll link that as well. But what you're going to do is first cut the onion in half. I'm just going to do a half an onion today, and then we're going to slice the onion, but don't bring your knife all the way through. You want to leave it to where just a little bit on that far end, you're not cutting all the way through, so that way it keeps the slices together. Then turn it to the side and angle your knife to go along with the onion and start to slice it the opposite way so you have these beautiful tiny pieces. Once that is finished, take that little edge, flip it over, and do the exact same thing. On the very end, you're going to have a couple pieces that are pretty big. I slide it off my knife, and then I just run my knife quickly through it. And that's how I get these beautifully chopped onions that are perfect every single time, whether you're needing it for tacos or for anything. It's perfect every single time, so make sure you watch that video. And now we're going to chop up a Roma tomato. I like a Roma tomato for my tacos better just because there's less seeds and it's easier to chop. First, I cut the end off and then I cut it in half lengthwise. And then I run my knife 1 or 2 times lengthwise, keep them piled on top, and then slice them again with my knife. So I have little sticks of tomatoes. Then I'm just going to run my knife through it the opposite way. So I have these beautifully diced pieces that are perfectly diced every single time. Now I know that might be confusing, so hopefully this closer video will help out. But I ran my knife lengthwise. Then we're going to make little tomato sticks. Once the tomato sticks are made, turn it and use your knife to run it the opposite way, so that way you have beautifully diced tomatoes every single time. Now this is why I like to use Roma tomatoes instead of like a classic tomato that you would get on a burger. So we're going to add that to our bowl for all our favorite tacos toppings. Now we have more taco toppings ideas linked in the recipe below. The last thing I want to talk about is when you're making tacos, I highly recommend that you hand shred your own cheese. I don't like buying the pre-shredded cheese because honestly, it just doesn't melt as well and it doesn't taste as good. So take the little bit of extra time because your dinner was already so easy with this taco meat. And that way you can have the best melting cheese for your tacos. And that's how easy it is to make tacos. All we have to do is assemble it and we're ready to eat. Now I did preheat my taco shells, but you don't have to do taco shells. Soft tacos will work as well. And we give you all those tips linked in the description below.
It smells so good. I love this recipe, guys. Okay, we have to do a taste test, right? Yeah. It's perfect every single time. Even if you don't know how to cook, you could make this recipe. It's foolproof, friends. Now, today, I used my homemade taco seasoning recipe that you saw in the video. We have that linked below, or you can just go to eatingonadime.com. It's so easy to replace, but if you don't want to make your own taco seasoning, that's okay. You can just throw in a packet of taco seasoning that you can find in your store, and it will still taste delicious, but I highly recommend you try my homemade taco seasoning. This recipe is delicious as is, but you can change it up a little bit, and we give you variations at the recipe. We have it linked below if you go to the actual website, eatingonadime.com. But one little thing that you can switch out is you can change the flavor of your taco seasoning just by using a different salsa. Today we did a very inexpensive red salsa, but you can do a homemade salsa or a spicier salsa or a green salsa and make it completely different. You can even just throw in a can of Rotel instead of salsa and it will taste delicious as well. One more tip before I have to dig into these tacos because they smell amazing is that if you're going to have company over, you can also throw the taco meat into a crock pot and keep it on warm so that way they stay warm and delicious. Now, if you are going to do this, I personally like to add about another fourth a cup of liquid just so the meat doesn't dry out since it's sitting in the crock pot on warm, but it's great and amazing for when you're having people over. Okay, I can't wait any longer. I have to eat these tacos. I did crispy shells today, but you can do soft, flour, corn, whatever you want. Don't forget though to like and subscribe. My messy plate, I gotta fill it back up. So you don't miss out any more of our family-friendly recipes. Grab the link for the best taco meat below, and I'll see you next time in my kitchen. Bye, friends.